Welcome back to All About Winning Daily Fantasy Sports. My name is Ty Patton. In this video, I will break down the Thursday Night Football Showdown contest between the Los Angeles Rams and the Seattle Seahawks. I was originally going to post this video after I posted my wide receiver video for Week 5 of the NFL, but I wanted to get this out at least an hour or so before game time, and moving forward, I will attempt to get the Showdown videos out a lot earlier before the actual games. Now, when I build the lineups for Showdown, I have a couple strategies that I like to use. I've never won a large GPP. I have placed in several of them, and I have, I would say I've had a decent return on my investment, meaning that I've been profitable on these contests, whether it be head-to-head, double-ups, 50-50, some of the GPPs. And I like to play the larger GPPs. Why not? You know, I feel like I got just as good a chance as anyone else. Now, one of the strategies that I use is that I like to use a wide receiver or a running back in the captain spot. It's really important to understand that in these contests, if you're playing, let's say, in a large GPP, your odds are slim anyhow. And I can tell you, if you don't get the captain spot right, you're not going to win the contest. You might win some money or get your money back, but you're not going to win if you don't get the captain spot right. And wide receivers, because it's PPR, they offer a lot of value. With that being said, if whatever you put in the captain spot, obviously they get 1.5 times the points. They also cost you 1.5 times their salary. So getting that right is really important. And I've been able to do that a few times and just not have the other combinations to go with it. For me, for instance, if I have the wide receiver in the captain spot, I'm automatically putting that wide receiver's quarterback in the flex spot. Automatically. There's only one way that wide receiver goes off and is the highest scoring player in the game, and that's if the quarterback's thrown the ball to him. Now, there's weird scenarios where if the quarterback got hurt and the backup came in, and that's part of fantasy football. If it happens, I'm willing to go on and I'll live another day. And same now with the running back, I don't necessarily have to plug the quarterback in there. I do like to use double quarterback a lot in my lineups. I've seen a lot of the winning lineups have that combination, and I like to do that as well. And I especially like to use a running back who adds the running game to the repertoire. Now, you want to build lineups. You want to make sure you develop some type of game script. How is the game going to go? You know, you think it's going to be a passing game? Are the Rams going to have to pass the ball to keep up? Because Seattle's jumped out to a lead and they're controlling the clock and using their running game. So you want to use the Rams passing game against Seattle's running game, that type of scenario. There's all kinds of variations that you can use, but the main thing is try to be different. You know, I've seen some really weird combinations, and when you see it, it's like, oh, that really makes sense. And hindsight's always 20/20, obviously, but you want to find a way to differentiate yourself. Look for some value and take a chance. I mean, there's a lot of people in the GPPs and even in the smaller contests. I mean, take a chance and you know, have fun with it. I only not the kicker, the 2 kickers and the 2 defenses. This is another rule that I use. I will only use one of those 4. If I use Seattle's kicker, I'm not going to use the Rams kicker or either of the defenses. I just want to use one of those if I can. The rest of my players, I want to be position players, guys that are on the field, involved in a lot of snaps, get a lot of targets. That's what I'm looking for in this. You know, you got 6 positions, and I have seen some with double kicker. I've seen some with double defenses that have won, and it was just their night to do so. With that being said, I think the best way to describe this and to look at it is to just jump in and build a couple lineups. I've built a couple today. I was going to share them with you, show you kind of the strategy that I used and how I come up with them. So, for instance, I'm going to use Woods. in the captain spot. I think Woods is a nice play there. Cup is going to get a lot of ownership, and I think that'll differentiate myself. A lot of people are going to go to quarterbacks in the captain spot. I'm going to plug Woods in there. So with my own rule, that means I'm automatically going to put Jared Goff in there. Now, I like to use the double quarterback. So I'm going to go down. Well, actually, at the top, Russell Wilson. So now I have both quarterbacks and one of Goff's receivers. Now, ideally, I want to get one of Wilson's receivers in there. So I'm going to see if I'm going to plug Lockett in there. Now, that only leaves me $3,900 per player. So I can go down. I'm going to go down to the field goal kicker. That's another strategy I use. I like to use the home kicker. He's at home. He knows all the things to do with the wind, the stadium. So I just give a slight edge to the home kicker. So I plugged the kicker in. Myers, he was $3,600. That leaves me $4,200. So I can go down and let's see. Now me personally, I don't want to use either a defense or a kicker. So I'm looking for a position player. Here we go, Everett. So I have Goff with two of his targets, Wilson with his main target, bringing it back with the field goal kicker for the Seahawks, and Everett, a target for Goff. Now, I am playing that particular lineup. It's the double quarterback, wide receiver in the captain spot. Let me show you another one that I built today. Now, this is an example of using the quarterback in the captain spot. Wilson is notorious. He has I believe it's a 14-3 record on primetime games, and the Seahawks score a lot of touchdowns through the air. I know they're primarily a rushing team, but they do score a lot of touchdowns through the air. And last year he actually had a 3-touchdown. He's had a couple 3-touchdown games against them, and one of his games in particular that I was looking at, he had the rushing yards, three total touchdowns, 100 yards rushing, really a good game. So if he goes off, and I got him in the captains, let's see here. We're going to go to captain. Now he's going to cost me $15,900, and that leaves me $68.20 a player. If I want to use the same strategy, double quarterback, I put him in there. And instead of using Seattle's kicker this time, maybe I'll switch it up and use the Rams kicker. We'll put Zerline in there. So as long as the Rams don't score on the ground, I pretty much got it covered with either the field goal kicker and Goff throwing a touchdown. But I'm going to put one of Goff's targets in there. So I'm going to go down to Cooks. I think Cooks could go a little bit under-owned tonight. Kupp's getting a lot of attention. The last game he had 15 targets. Cooks is a deep threat. He's also the guy that can break a slate, meaning that he could just have a phenomenal big game from really deep passes. And last week in the Tampa Bay game, the top three wide receivers actually came from that game. Two of them were from the Rams, and they were Kupp and Woods. So Cooks could go a little bit under-owned this week. Now I need to find a target for Wilson. And I'm going to plug in his top target. I'm going to put Lockett in there. That leaves me $3,300. I can go back to, I can put Everett in there like I had in the other lineup. Or I could put Higbee, Jerron Brown. But I'll put Everett in there since I have Goff. Like I said, there's value below. I wouldn't take a flyer on someone who's not going to see the field, obviously, some of these names. And there's a chance that somebody down here like Wilson could catch up fluke touchdown. Everybody's taking Disley tonight from Seattle. He's been on one of uh, Wilson's top targets. And maybe they go double tight end, and he tosses one over here to Wilson. But this lineup here is pretty solid. Spent all about $100, and that's another thing with Showdown. It's okay to leave money on the table, um, and that's a good way of differentiating yourself. It's finding a game script, switch things around, move some players in and out. This is just like I said, I built these lineups earlier, and I wanted to mention another game that DraftKings has. Is during the game. It's called the Flash Draft, and it's fun. You get like they run them every 3 minutes, and it's for the next quarter. And what they do is they'll flash three players, and you have 15 seconds to pick one, and they do that for 5 rounds. And it's like I said, it's during the game. Some of the you have to pay close attention because some of the players it'll say 1.5 times. Now it might be the kicker, and the kicker might not get a chance at a field goal or even an extra point. But if he would get, let's say he would get a 50-yard field goal, and you've selected him once, and then he pops up with the 1.5 tag, and you took him again. So now you get 2.5 times that field goal that was 50 yards, and 50-yard field goals, 5 points, and 2.5 times. Now you're looking at 12.5 points for one field goal. And I've actually done pretty well. You usually end up splitting with a lot of people. I won in particular had 50. I won $56. It was $1 entry. I had to split with a lot of people, but it's just something that keeps you interested in the game. Now, I would recommend if you're just going to check in and out on the game and not really follow what's going on, that's probably not the contest for you. But it's just something fun if you're really following along with the game. And they run it for the second, third, and fourth quarter. So that's something else that you can look at. Now, I'll be back here shortly. I already have the video for wide receiver prepared. I'll be back shortly. I just wanted to get this posted and out there to you guys real quick. Thank you for joining me. Please hit that like button, subscribe. If you have any comments, drop them below. I appreciate them. I appreciate the comments that I've gotten from a few people. And hit that notification bell. It lets you know when my next video has posted. So have fun tonight. This is all about winning daily fantasy sports. My name is Ty Patton, and I'll see you real soon. Thanks a lot.